Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. My name is Kiris. I'm starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, November 9th through Saturday, November 15th, 2025. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. Sunday, the Sun's Day, we start the week off with the essential cosmic power of knowing that to get what you want, you have to know exactly what it is that you want and be honest about it. We start the week with Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, stationing retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is the sign of honesty and the truth. When Mercury, the planet of your ideas, concepts, what it is that you truly are thinking about and focusing on, when Mercury goes into its detrimental placement, which is the sign of Sagittarius, meaning Mercury is the farthest away from its natural home placement, then this is the cosmos putting a giant spotlight, a highlight for us to focus on, to become aware of, knowing exactly what it is that you want. Jupiter reaches for the stars. It's the goals that we are seeking. And when Mercury is in a Jupiter-ruled sign like Sagittarius and Pisces, this is a reminder, a highlight for us to know exactly what it is that you want and to be honest about it. This is Sagittarius, Jupiter, the kingly planet, the greater benefic, saying, know what it is that you really want in life so that you can achieve that goal and be very honest about it with yourself. So this is the Mercury stationing retrograde in Sagittarius. It's time to draw the truth card as far as what you are really reaching for. What is your dream? What is your Jupiterian reaching for the stars and what the goal is? Because to get it, again, you have to know exactly and be honest about what it is that you are reaching for, just like the sign of Sagittarius, reaching for your dream, your goal. And not only reaching for the stars, but also having the belief, the faith. This is Jupiter, this is Sagittarius, the faith, the confidence, and the believing in yourself that yes, you can and will reach for the stars and accomplish what it is that you truly want. Any and all of the Mercury retrogrades, no matter what sign they are in, is the slowing down and taking a closer look. Second, third, closer look, and more if that is needed, to go very precisely over what it is that you are reaching for, along with the faith that you can and will achieve what it is that you truly want. What is unique and so special about this Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is that Sagittarius is Jupiter, the great protector. Jupiter, Sagittarius, these are the cosmic eternal laws. Now with Sagittarius and Jupiter, all laws can be broken down to just one law, which is you don't steal. This is an eternal cosmic law that all the laws are based on. You don't steal a life. You don't steal a spouse. You don't lie about someone and steal their good name. And also, you don't steal the ideas, concepts, and writings, inventions of another person, meaning this Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, Mercury being the mind, this is a giant spotlight from the cosmos highlighting for us that these laws are of you don't take what is not rightfully yours. You don't steal. This Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is showing that Mercury is the trickster god. It can be the liar. It is the thief. And Mercury is now retrograde in Sagittarius, which is the ultimate big picture, what all of the cosmic laws are based on. You do not take another person's writing, plagiarizing their thoughts, their ideas, their concepts. This is another highlight where the law of Jupiter is showing what will come back on a person if they, when they break that ultimate cosmic law, which is you don't steal, you don't take what is not rightfully yours to take. If and when a person does steal or take something that is not rightfully theirs, the Mercury retrograde in Jupiter-ruled Sagittarius, there will be consequences to breaking that law. This is a reminder to think about if this has happened to you when you have worked so hard on something and then someone just takes it, entitles themselves to steal it and use it. Think about what that is. Also, Mercury, which is the mind and thinking, is thinking about if and when you've intentionally or not done that to someone else. With Mercury being the mind, put your focus and attention on you doing and being something so original and knowing that you are a conscious creator. So instead of copying and stealing, which is done all the time in business, unfortunately, this cosmic reminder with the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is showing, put your attention, your Mercury mind, on creating and being original so that you can rest assured and know it wasn't something that you took from somebody else. The Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is reminding me of Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Now, for decades, it's been believed that Thomas Edison stole the genius, the brilliant inventions of Nikola Tesla. Now, today, it is believed that Edison didn't copy and steal from Nikola Tesla, but that Tesla did work for Thomas Edison, and Thomas Edison did not pay him for his work. That, again, is yet another component of breaking the cosmic law, which is to not steal. Do not steal someone's work, their time, their effort, and then not pay them for it. And this aspect, again, with the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, is making me think of Nikola Tesla because of his life and what was done to him and his brilliant genius mind. We also have Jupiter exalted in Cancer, sublimely placed, making a water trine flow to the Sun in Scorpio, ruled by Mars. The Moon in Cancer makes a square to Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, also ruled by Mars. So this is the water trine flow of reinvention. And the water with the Moon and the Sun, especially with the Moon at home in Cancer, this is the flow of the energy and the creativity that brings you closer to the truth of who and what you are and the truth of what it is that you desire. Cancer is the sign that rules over children, spontaneity, playfulness, being connected to the truth of how you feel and expressing the emotions. So with the Moon at home in Cancer, this water trine flow to the Sun in Scorpio is the creative process through play. When you are playing at something and it's just in the moment, you're not really thinking, you're feeling, Moon at home in Cancer, and being very childlike, letting that inner child come out and play and express. This is how children connect, including the adults. Then this Moon trine, the Sun in water, is beautiful for creativity. That's a really nice aspect when the two luminaries, the two lights, the Sun and the Moon, are in harmony in the element of water, connected to Cancer, which rules over children, home and family. And what do children do? They play. That's how they connect. The Moon in Cancer square Chiron, the wounded healer, in the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, the baby. This is the square aspect saying, take the action. If you have not done so for whatever reason in a long time, you're always working, then take the action with the Moon square Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, to do something very playful. Even if it's you just go down to the beach or the park and watch children play, get in touch with, connect to that energy of the spirit of the child and your inner child. The cosmos is helping you to solve your problems in this way, because when we are so focused on a problem in our lives and we just go around and around the same problem, a lot of times the solution is to do something with the Moon square Chiron, to do something where you're taking your logical mind off of the obsessive thoughts about the problem and then go do something like play. It is not only creative, and you may be very surprised what comes up in you as far as a creative thought idea. It also helps to solve the problem that you're dealing with in your life by taking your mind off of it to stop obsessing, to go do something else like play, like a child, moon at home in Cancer, and then see the spontaneous solution and awareness that can help you to solve the problem. Monday, the moon's day, November 10th, your essential cosmic power number 2 is to know that jealousy is a disease. Love is a healthy condition. We have the moon now in Leo, fixed fire Leo, making a square aspect to Venus in her detrimental placement of fixed water Scorpio. The moon square Venus, this is quite stormy. This is the blending of the moon in Leo's fire with Venus in fixed water Scorpio's water. This blending of hot and cold, fire and water is very stormy, and it is coming from the moon in Leo's need for constant attention and drama. So the big dramatic expressions of jealousy and emotion and possessiveness, this is not obviously a healthy condition. And the moon and Venus, these are the two feminine planets that are all about the flow of love and health and creativity. So the moon square Venus, and we have Mercury now retrograde, is where words can get misconstrued, misunderstood, and then that fiery component of moon square Venus, fire and water, is dramatic and very draining to say the least. So just stay to the love, because love is the health, not the big over-the-top fiery jealous dramatics that are not necessary to say the least. We also have the moon in Leo making a fire trine flow to Mercury in Sagittarius, now retrograde. This is connected to the moon square Venus, which is be very careful about what it is that you say, because sometimes words can't be taken back. There are times when the wrong thing to say can not be overlooked. The moon in Leo makes a fire trine flow to Mars in Sagittarius. This is more about the taking your mind off of the jealousy act and doing something that is all about the positivity. Fire is action, moon in Leo, Mars in Sagittarius, and doing something that is about the positive energy in a great relationship. Now, because Sagittarius, Mars in Sagittarius, is about travel, go for a drive, go explore something new. It might be a local business in your neighborhood where you're going to explore a new bookstore, a new cafe, whatever it is. But stick to the fire, positive action, illumination of the element of fire. Tuesday, Mars's day, November 11th, your essential cosmic power number 3 is to know that if you are going through hell, just keep going. We have the kingly planet, the greater benefic, stationing retrograde today. Jupiter, exalted in Cancer, is standing still before it goes into retrograde motion. Now, the Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is a test of faith. Think of Jupiter, the greater benefic, as a guardian angel, which it is. It's the largest planet in our solar system, and it is there to guide and protect. Jupiter is also representative of gratitude. So when you are going through something with this Jupiter retrograde exalted in Cancer, when you think thoughts of gratitude and say thank you for everything, every blessing that you have in your life, in spite of what you may be going through, then that emotion, this is Jupiter exalted in Cancer, Cancer says I feel, that emotion of gratitude for every big and little thing in your life, all of it. So this test of faith and believing with the Jupiter retrograde is to consciously make it a point to say thank you. This is gratitude. This is Jupiter exalted in Cancer, especially for the loved ones in your life, because Cancer is the sign of home and family, where the heart is. So if nothing else, when you say thank you for the friends, the family, the people that love you. You love them. Then this Jupiter retrograde exalted in Cancer is the reminder of whatever test of faith you may be going through, just keep going and put your emotions, channel your emotions, this is Cancer, in the area of the gratitude for the people and loved ones in your life. This helps to get you out of the situation that you may be in and feel struggling, and you need that faith, that believing. It always goes back to gratitude and love. That is the way to see it through this Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. It happens every year for a few months when we get Jupiter, the kingly planet, retrograde. It's our yearly reminder to always hold on to the love and the gratitude. But what Jupiter really represents, where Venus is love and Jupiter is the gratefulness. This is also our fourth quarter moon day. We have the moon in Leo making a square to the sun in fixed water Scorpio. When we go to this crossover point and move from fourth quarter to new moon, this is the inner reflective time where we don't want to push ourselves too hard energetically. This is also the time of the month where we are letting go of certain things that are no longer necessary to take the action when we have the new moon coming up. So it's more contemplative, it's more restful as best as you can, and it's also the more going within time of the month where we're clearing away, separating from what we want to keep and what we want to let go of. This fourth quarter moon between the moon in Leo squaring the sun in Scorpio is putting a very strong highlight from the cosmos of letting go of jealousy. It connects to the aspect we had on Monday, which is the moon in Leo making that square to Venus in Scorpio. So they're letting go of the things that are diseased in the area of jealousy and releasing that, letting it go in preparation for the new moon in Scorpio is a cosmic highlight and emphasis as far as, well, what is the preparation? What do you say goodbye to as we move from fourth quarter to new moon? The very unhealthy emotional state of jealousy. Wednesday, November 12th, Mercury's day, the essential cosmic power number 4 is to not obsess over the small little details. Try and look at the bigger objective picture. The moon enters Virgo ruled by Mercury, and the moon in Virgo has an emotional desire to not only organize, but it can obsess over the small little details and just go around the same thing again and again. Where the moon in Virgo, which yes is about the small little details that can mean so much, we've got the moon in Virgo making an inconjunct aspect of adjustments to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, the Pluto in Aquarius is the transformational cosmic energy of look at the big picture from a more objective place. Aquarius being an air sign and more about standing back and looking at the larger scope of what it is that you are needing. What is needed here with the moon making the inconjunct to Pluto in Aquarius is the air element of Aquarius friendship, different points of view, different minds that can be looking at the same situation and see the problem or what the moon in Virgo is obsessing about, to see that issue through a whole different perspective and angle. This helps the moon in Virgo to step back and not get so upset and emotional about a little small thing when we step back with that Pluto in Aquarius and just see the transformational powers of Aquarius when we look through a different lens, a different perspective. The Pluto in Aquarius is also all about the future. And so when we take our emotional mind, moon in Virgo, over some small thing that's driving you crazy and shift the focus to the future, which is where the fourth quarter to new moon is going. It's letting go of to get to the new moon action, which is to keep your emotions and your mind on the future, what you are inventing. This is also Pluto in Aquarius. Thursday, Jupiter's day, the essential cosmic power number 5 is to feel free, clear up the space. We still have the moon in Virgo ruled by Mercury. Now the moon in Virgo is making square aspects of action to Mercury in Sagittarius and Mars in Sagittarius. Then the moon in Virgo makes a sextile aspect of opportunity to Venus in her detrimental placement of Scorpio. So what all of this cosmic power means for you is that when you go to the moon in Virgo, which loves to clear away space and loves to feel organized, the action, the fire element, which is to take action along with the squares of the moon squaring Mercury in Sagittarius, this is clear the space. Have a yard sale. Bring things. You can bring items to certain businesses that you can sell them to certain businesses, donate them to charity, but clear up the flow of energy that has to move and flow. And this will also help the moon in Virgo, as we've been chatting about the moon in Virgo needing to do something as opposed to obsess over something big or small. But typically with the moon in Virgo, it's some small habit or thing that just drives you nuts. So go to the square, which is to do something that gets you out of your head, and to take action, which is the fire element, which is also illumination. So just clear the space. Clear out, even if it's just one small drawer. Just clear something out, and this moves the energy in the space that will make you feel so much better emotionally with that moon in Virgo. And that sextile aspect of opportunity to Venus in her detrimental placement. Now the moon sextile Venus will also help to center and relax you as far as love and self-esteem. This is Venus. When you just look at one small area perhaps that you've been putting off, cleaning it out, clearing it away. Again, the moon in Virgo loves this. Makes them feel so great. And just donate it, sell it again to a business that buys vintage things, clothing, whatever. And this will greatly assist you as we move towards the new moon in Scorpio. These aspects with the moon in Virgo making squares to Mercury and Mars in Sagittarius and the sextile to Venus in Scorpio, these are very much reminding me of the show called The Antiques Roadshow, where people will have something that they've held on to for years, maybe never really thought about it or focused on it, and then over time, this is the Mars in Sagittarius that goes the distance and is ruled by Jupiter, which increases. They will have some small thing, perhaps like the moon in Virgo, some particular item that they don't think about how the value of it has grown over time, because we never really know what collectors always want to collect. And then they bring it on the Antiques Roadshow and they find out that the value has greatly increased. It could be a small brooch, whatever it may be, and it brings a lot of happiness and joy to something that just stayed in the family because it belonged in the family. So this is the moon in Virgo. It's also very detailed, the moon in Virgo, something that is crafted or was crafted in such a way that they just don't make it like that anymore. So go through what you have been collecting or what you may call clutter and see what it is that you find. It's like going on a treasure hunt kind of feel, which is so much fun when you go through your stuff and it has your personal value attachment to it, but also it could be something that has grown Jupiter, Mars in Sagittarius over time. Friday, Venus's day, November 14th, your essential cosmic power number 6 is to know that every ending is a beginning. Every beginning is an ending. We have the greater benefic and the greater malefic, both retrograde. Jupiter is retrograde, exalted in Cancer. Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. Yes, hello, increase. This is the Jupiter kingly planet, and Saturn being all about the block, the ending, the saying goodbye to something, especially when it is in the sign of Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, both in water signs, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces. So this is the emotional awareness. This is water, the emotional intelligence that to hold on to anything where everything is always a hello and a goodbye. It is the flow of life and the cosmos itself, that when you just let things move as they are destined to move, then your emotional body, this is the water, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, then the emotional health and energy, the flow through your body will be not only at peace with it, but water is also the flourishment of everything in your life. So just know that the endings and the beginnings, all of it is always going on at the same time, which is exactly what keeps life, love, and happiness moving and flourishing. Saturday, Saturn's Day, we now have the moon moving into Venus-ruled Libra, making an air trine flow to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, this is a deep dive of emotion and potential transformation. The moon in Libra is what we need, the need for love and balance, relationship, making the air trine flow to Pluto, which is the underworld and transformation, the phoenix rising from the ashes in the sign of Aquarius, which is not only the future, but it's the people, the friends that come along with us. So we close out this week on Saturn's Day, which is very serious in the area of how you are planning in your mind the next foundation, the next chapter of your life. We're in the waning moon cycle before the new moon action, and the seriousness of Saturn connected to the moon in Libra, Pluto in Aquarius. This is the planning stage. Everything happens in the mind first. It's all mind and thought and concepts. So the moon trine Pluto in Aquarius on Saturn's day is thinking very thoroughly and in an organized way as far as how you are building and planning your future, and just exactly what will it take as a starting point, new moon in Scorpio coming up, as a starting point and foundation that needs to be structured and organized. That's all of the Saturn components and elements on Saturn's day during the dark side of the moon before the new moon in Scorpio, which is the transformation. So you could think of it this way. Saturn is all about the business and very serious. So the business of your life, your lifestyle, the foundation of how you live, where you want to live, what you want to do, and the people you want in your life. This moon trine Pluto is that very serious business of your life, and how will you not only create that, but what are the first steps, meaning the foundation to create that. In the cosmos this week, we are considering a lot of retrograde motions, which is always to return and give a second and at least third consideration and look. This is connected because it's all connected in astrology. This is connected to the awareness that you will have this week that the things you thought you wanted or perhaps have had for a long time. Now, as we are closing out the week with the moon in Libra, trine the Pluto in Aquarius, is that you will be discovering that the things you wanted for a long time and have had for a long time, this is Saturn, the very foundation, that is doing a complete turnaround, transformation. For instance, let's say you always lived in the country. Now, with this consideration with the moon trine Pluto, you're thinking, gee, I'd like to live by the ocean. Or you've always had a certain business or career, and it was perfectly fine for years. Now you're feeling like, as we approach the new moon in Scorpio, that you've done that chapter of your life. You may want a complete 180. You want a different career that isn't anywhere near the career you've always had. This is what is happening here with the retrogrades and how Saturn just puts down again the basic floor work of what you want to build and build for something that will go for a long time. It's a whole new chapter, a whole new different life and lifestyle to consider as we are closing out this week in astrology. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. I will see you all in the stars.